are you doing, bestie? Are you doing great? Thank you so much for joining me in this session, and I apologize for not being able to upload my video tonight. Uh, okay, I'm just checking that I'm not muted. So basically, my video was taking abnormally long to export, and so I'm gonna try again tomorrow so that it'll be ready for you on Thursday. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, basically, I am posting a video on how to become an academic weapon and how I turned my failing grades into distinctions. And I'm gonna give you all my juicy study tips and revision tips so that you can replicate the success that I've experienced from doing these study tips. So yeah, because I managed to transform my grades, not because of me, but because of the effectiveness of the study tips. And I just want you to succeed as well. And I apologize if I'm coughing. It's because I'm still recovering from bronchitis. But can all of you comment down below what time it is for you right now? Currently in Australia, it's 10:30. And yeah, I'll be posting the how to become an academic weapon video on Thursday at the same time as right now. So while we're waiting for everyone else to join, can all of my besties set an alarm for Thursday, 10:30 p.m. or the time that you are currently experiencing right now? Yes, this is live. Sorry, who? Oh my God, there's so many. I can see your chat right now. Zoe said it's 2:31. Avocado said it's 6:05, and Archana said it's 4:30. Oh, thank you. Someone said I look like a princess. To be honest, I'm really tired because I had a really long day. I just finished my biochemistry quiz, but I'm so excited to talk to all of you. Shreya said, hello, hi. Yeah, I'm reading all your chat right now. There are so many of you. It's crazy, but I'm just so excited to talk to all of you. And welcome to the actually second ever coaching session with me. It's just a fancy way of saying that I'm answering a few of the questions that you have for me. So my team picked out a few questions that you have commented in the community post at Faith Films Academy and at the $9 student success formula. Sorry if I'm yapping right now. I'm just waiting for 5 minutes so that everyone can join so no one misses anything. But yeah, so if you're a little bit lost, Faith Films Academy is just a free community where students can meet, they can connect with each other, find accountability buddies, share advice, tips, not only about studying or productivity, but for beauty and mental health as well. And I also do live study with me sessions there. So if you want to study with me throughout the week, then feel free to join us there. Yeah. Look at this fancy feature. I included a link here. It took me really long to figure it out, but yeah. So feel free to go to that. It's completely free. It's nice to have everything in one place. And we're currently #1 in the world for most engaging and best community, and that's all thanks to you. Comment a pink heart if you're from Faith Films Academy right now, and please give a warm welcome to everyone who's going to join. But I'm sure all of you would. You're the best. Thank you so much. And the $9 student success formula is an academic program that I just launched a few days ago, where I give you classes every single week, where I give you step by step on how to transform your grades. It's an academic program completely tailored to you, and I will personally help you to achieve all your academic goals. And yeah, the feedback has been great so far. And episode 0 has been posted already, basically telling you the mindset that you need to succeed. And episode 1 will be released later this week, all about how to set your goals and master, setting attainable, realistic, and achievable goals. So I'm really excited for that. And yeah, we're gonna wait for 1 more minute, and then we're gonna start off this little Q&A session. Sorry if I'm a little bit low energy. Like I said, I'm a little bit sick, but I just really want to talk to you, so I'm not gonna listen to my doctor who told me not to speak. Adore said, do you follow Wanyangism? I'm sorry, but Wanyang is such a queen. Oh my god, I wish I could be her. I'm just gonna embody her. And yes, I do. I love her. I love Wanyang. Wait, can I pin comments here? I can. Okay. Oh my god, I'm gonna become like an expert in live streaming. I gotta do this more often. All right, it's 10:35, and yeah, we're gonna start right now. I'm just gonna flip it. Oh, let's go to the art. Oh, can my okay? My team just rescued me because I'm useless at this. But let's start our second ever coaching session. And by the way, really quickly, I want you to get Milo or Ribena or like a comforting drink and put your notebooks away because I'm sure a lot of besties in the chat and also the admins of Faith Films Academy, they'll be taking notes for you. They'll be available in Faith Films Academy, so feel free to join us and then you can get the notes from this live stream there. I just want this to be super chill. I don't want it to be professional or anything. So feel free to comment anything in the chat as well and make friends. So the first question was posted by Jiag. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, but how do you deal with university anxiety for people going through a big change, shifting abroad or another city to study, away from their hometown and family? How do you cope up with the change and be reassured of everything? Comment down below. Comment in the chat if you're experiencing a change right now. So if you didn't know, I moved to Australia from Malaysia all by myself back 2 years ago, so in 2021 2022, and my parents couldn't follow me because the borders were closed due to COVID. And so I had to come here all alone, and not gonna lie, I grew up pretty pampered in Malaysia in the sense where I was the youngest child. So if you're a youngest child, you would know like your parents basically set up the path for you already throughout my whole life. And so coming to Australia alone was very, very nerve-wracking. You have to understand that I packed my entire life into 3 suitcases and it was like more than 25-30 kg each, and I had to lug it through the entire airport. It was so hard, and it was my first time traveling alone as well. I usually travel with my family, and so I think it's so easy, Jiag, to be caught up in the nervousness and anxiety. And to be honest, you don't want to look back on this period in your life and just feel regret that you didn't fully immerse yourself into this experience. I remember panicking in the plane and like, oh my God, how am I going to do this? But then I sat back and thought to myself, this is a monumental part in your life, right? If you feel anxious or you feel a little bit uneasy, that's how you know you're experiencing change. And that's a good thing. You don't want to be cruising through life always being happy and comfortable because that means you're not growing as a person, you know? And so I want you to be excited about the fact that you don't know what you're doing. And so what I did was I turned all my nervousness into excitement, and I would just get excited about the little things. I guess you could call this like romanticizing your life. So I remember the first time I made salmon, completely burnt it. Made pasta as well, completely burned it. And instead of being like, oh my God, I can't even do simple things, I just told myself to just laugh it off. And I'm like, whatever, it's funny, And 2 years later, I can still talk about that experience and laugh about it. And I'm so glad that I didn't go through that phase of my life just worrying, because you get nothing out of worrying, right? And so the biggest advice I have for you is to be excited. Turn that nervous, anxious energy and turn that into excitement, and you're going to see such a huge change with your mindset and your experience. And yeah, I hope this really helps you. Comment a little fruit emoji if you liked that advice. And if you have any other advice for Jiak or anyone experiencing this right now, please put them in the chat, because everyone is reading it right now, especially when they're watching the recording. They can also see advice that other people is saying. And oh, hey there, put a kiwi emoji. Let me just show a few of it. I think that's so cute. All right, let's move on. So Sasi Kala said, hi, I am Rithanya. Hello, nice to meet you. I want to know how you're able to stick towards your goal every day and work towards it. So if you're unaware, I am currently doing a few mini vlogs on Instagram and in shorts on YouTube. So if you haven't watched those, feel free to check them out. And I've been getting a lot of these questions, like every day. Like, how do you wake up at 4:30 a.m. every single day and not get tired? And how do you do so much in a day? So for context, I am currently interning at a top medical research center. I know, I can't believe it as well. I am doing YouTube. I am doing Faith Films Academy, which is our community. I'm doing the $9 Student Success Formula, which is my academic program. And I'm also doing university. I'm studying immunology, which is a notoriously hard course. So that's a little bit about me. And the reason why I'm able to, you know, stick to all of them is because I'm passionate about each of them. So that's really, really important. You have to figure out why you're doing each of those things, and you have to figure out why you want to pursue that goal that you have in mind. Like, I wrote down briefly, like in a memo pad that I have here, just to remind myself, right? You need to remind yourself of the feeling that you're chasing. So if you want to stick to your goals, there are three things that you need to keep in mind. Who is it that's keeping you accountable for your goals? Who is it that inspires you to achieve those goals? And what feeling is it, like, what feeling is your, my English is failing, what feeling is it that you're trying to chase? So these three things are really, 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 really important. Feel free to write it down. Yeah, someone can write it down in the chat. So first one, you need to find someone that's going to keep you accountable. So for anyone who's a little bit younger than me, I say it like I'm a grandma, but I'm just like 22. But anyway, anyone who's a little bit younger than me, I'm going to give you some big sister advice. When you're trying to improve yourself and when you're on your journey towards self-improvement or success, it's going to be very, very lonely. Like, there are people that are going to try to bring you down, either one, because they're projecting, meaning they themselves feel ashamed or they feel upset that they can't pursue that goal themselves. And so instead of trying to work on themselves, they try to bring you down. And two, you're going to realize that a lot of people are jealous. So try to ignore that negative energy, but that also means that your journey towards success is going to be very, very lonely, and I'm going to set that expectation up for you. And so that's the reason why in Faith Films Academy I set up a category called Find Your Accountability Buddy. Can anyone who has found an accountability buddy in Faith Films Academy comment that in the chat so that it lets other people know? So basically, you can go to Faith Films Academy and post about what you're studying or that you're looking for an accountability buddy, basically someone to keep you accountable. And so many people will reach out and share their socials, and you guys can keep in touch or make a group chat. There are a few of them that have been made already. And yeah, there's also a 24/7 study Discord, so you can study with each other no matter what time of day, and there are going to be people there that will support you. And yeah, so this journey of yours is going to be lonely. Hopefully it's not. Hopefully you have a good support system. But if you are lonely, find someone that's going to keep you accountable so that the negative energy does not outweigh the positive ones. And regarding the second point, wow, I feel like I sound really, really prepared for these questions, but I promise I'm not. It's my first time reading them as well. So the second one is that you need to remind yourself of who inspires you, right? So I want you guys to comment in the chat. Sorry, I'm coughing. I want you guys to comment in the chat right now who inspires you. Who, like, when you look at them or when you read about them, just makes you feel like, yeah, I wanna live that life, you know? Like, can you guys comment in the chat? So you need to find someone that inspires you. If you haven't already, a good place to start is by, searching up your hobbies or searching up what is your goal, and then see who has already achieved that goal. And so you try to, oh, so many people say that I'm your inspiration. Thank you so much. That's so, so cute. Yeah, I'll just show some of your comments. I think that's so cute. Thank you, Christy. Thank you, Elsa. So yeah, find someone that inspires you, consume their content, consume, their lifestyle, and make sure that you want to emulate that. And so don't be jealous, don't be envious, don't be like, they're so far away, like I can never do that. No, no, no. That's not the mindset that we're gonna have. Because the thing is, they have been in the exact same position as you. All right? Like, like you might think, okay, like if you look at me as a role model, I have been in the position where I feel lost. I feel like I'm dumb because I don't understand a concept fast enough. Like, I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I used to be a student athlete and I was training 9 to 12 hours a day. I was a rhythmic gymnast. And so I didn't have time to study. And that's when I injured my back permanently when I was like 12 or 13. It ended my career basically. And I had free time. So I started studying a lot. And because I spent the first 13 years of my life not really caring about my academics, I basically had to start from scratch. I didn't know any study techniques. My grades were to put into context, I would rather skip the exams than take it. I think I've made a video about this before. Yeah, so that was where I started, and I think a lot of you are way better than me as of right now. So, you know, even though you might think that, oh, you know, she's at a top uni right now, she's doing an amazing internship right now, I have literally been in your position, and I don't want you to feel like when you look at your inspiration with whoever that is, like, oh, they're so far away. No, be excited about the fact that you're gonna get there someday. Yeah, change your mindset a little bit. And last point is like, you need to remember what that feeling is that you're chasing. Like, why do you want to achieve that goal, right? So sorry about that. But you have to, because when it's like day 1, day 2, or day 3, or even week 1, you're going to be really, really excited, right? So basically in Faith Films Academy, we have this challenge called the Focus 50 Challenge, where every single day you do these 8 simple steps that's going to keep you in check. I have a live stream up right now on my YouTube channel, the previous live stream, where I explained what Focus 50 was. And so the first 2 weeks, a lot of you were telling me that you were so excited, so motivated. And by week 3, you're kind of like, oh my God, why do I have to do this? And so you have to keep reminding yourself of that feeling that you're trying to chase. Do you want to feel fit? Do you want to feel pretty? Do you want to feel accomplished, motivated, inspiring? Like, what is it that you're trying to feel? And then remind yourself of that feeling. So that's going to keep you motivated. All right. What do you think about what I said so far? Comment a purple heart emoji if you agree with what I said, or if you have anything to add, feel free to add it in the chat. So let me drink a little bit of water. Okay. Hi, Faye, do you remember me? Yes, I do, Neha. All right, then there's a shower of purple heart emojis. So let's continue. All right. The third question, a lot of times we run out of motivation or we just lose our momentum to study and lose track of our discipline. How do we keep up with this? All right. So if you didn't know, right, I mentioned just now that I have an academic program called the $9 Student Success Formula. The link to join that is in the description box below. But in that community, I asked a few of you to send me your timetables so that I can really understand what you're struggling with. So basically, I sent a few of you a questionnaire and a slot for you to fill in your current daily schedule. And what I noticed from a few of the timetables that you sent me is that the students that struggle with motivation or procrastination, you have very monotonous daily schedules. So that's something that's very striking to me, right? And the thing is, when I talked about this to other students and they show me their timetable, they're like, I don't think there's anything wrong with my timetable, because every day I dedicate 5 hours towards studying. Every day I go to school. Like, this is the perfect timetable, right? But it's actually not. Because when you like, in theory, dedicating 5 or 6 or 8 hours, it's insane. Like, some of you study so much, but dedicating so much time towards studying every single day means that you're going to, oddly enough, in turn want to procrastinate more, because why would I study today when there's no pressure for me to study? Like, I can study tomorrow and the day after that and the day after that and that. You get what I mean? And this is a point that I'm going to talk about in my video that's coming out on Thursday. Stay tuned for that. But you can't just only study. If you only study, you have nothing to look forward to, nothing that's going to keep you motivated and pushing on. And if you have nothing else to do other than study, you basically have no pressure to focus and be productive because you know you'll have extra time tomorrow. So what I highly suggest is that you find a hobby or a task or a job or a anything, maybe not a job, that's really high commitment and overwhelming to start with, but try to find a commitment outside studying that you do a few times a week. So if you're just starting out, I highly suggest that if you have no activities on your schedule right now, I highly suggest that you find something that you have to schedule in. So like a dance class, a gym appointment like Pilates or yoga, or anything that has a scheduled time so that you're forced to go out and stay committed to those things. So yeah, make sure that your daily schedule is a little bit varied, and that will keep you motivated, because nothing is more demotivating and sad than a monotonous daily schedule. Can a few of you besties comment in the chat letting me know if you have monotonous timetables and if you struggle with procrastination? Because I'm seeing that this is a trend, that's becoming more apparent as I look at more of your timetables. All right. Next question. Abs said, I want to know about some of your favorite fiction books. All right. Okay. I feel like you besties are gonna think that I read a lot of nonfiction, like Atomic Habits or like Think Like a Monk or stuff like that. Sorry, I'm just reading the chat, but you're so cute. But I honestly don't read that much nonfiction. In fact, it's pretty hard for me to get through a nonfiction book, because Art Smart said, where is Faith Films Academy? You can just join it at www.faithfilmsacademy.com/launch. But anyway, getting back to my point, so I actually love reading romance books. Can everyone please comment in the chat romance books that you really like? So I love Twilight. I just binged watched the trilogy. Wait, no, there's 5 movies, right? I binge watched the entire series of movies last week. I love Twilight because I don't know, I just love cheesy movies and books like that. Okay, please don't judge me. And I also just finished the Shatter Me series. So a few of you have caught on in my vlogs that I have the Shatter Me series, and I love that one too. I also currently just finished Powerless by Lauren Roberts, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. And yeah, I just love romance, enemies to lovers kind of books. All right. While I take a sip of water, can all of you drink water as well? Because I know you're dehydrated right now. Someone said, read the Twisted series. Oh my god, I can't even find the comment now because there's so many comments. Yeah, someone said read the Twisted series. I really want to read the Twisted series. I don't have time right now, but I hope I can get to it like maybe after exams or something. Yeah. I'm probably gonna film a 4 a.m. productive morning vlog sometime this week. Let me know if that's what you're interested in, and I'll film that and edit that for you. Yeah. Okay, the next question. All right. I've been wanting to study abroad. How to become that kind of student who'll be offered a scholarship? Okay, this is a really interesting question. Okay, if you didn't know, I was offered let me get this right, International Undergraduate University of Melbourne International Undergraduate Scholarship. Yeah, I think I was offered that scholarship. Is a merit it's a merit scholarship. So basically, you need to get, I think, AAA stars in A levels to be able to get that scholarship or equivalent, whatever it is in your country. And the average is like 94, if I'm not mistaken, over 100 for all your subjects. And so I received a bursary, where the university just refunded me a portion of my tuition fees, and that really helped a lot. I think it's about like five figures plus in that year. And so yeah, I've been really thankful for that. And a lot of you ask me every single day, I get this every single day, like, how do you get scholarships, right? Number one, let me talk about how do you get scholarships, and then the second one, what do you have to do to be able to get scholarships. So one, let me gather my thoughts. All right, there are 2 main types of scholarships: university scholarships or company scholarships. Okay, forgive me if I'm not using the right terminology, But basically, you have scholarships that universities give you or scholarships that companies give you. And I'm going to go through the pros and cons of each. So basically, for university-based scholarships, the pros is that there is no bond, usually most of the time, right? Bond is BOND. Bond is basically you repaying the university or you repaying a company for sponsoring you. So the company gave you a lot of money to study, right? They're gonna need to make that money back somehow. And so sometimes when companies sponsor you, they're gonna make you, it's written in the contract, they're gonna make you come back after graduating and work for them for a specific amount of time. So when I was back in Malaysia, I applied for the CIMB and Maybank scholarship. And I actually pulled out last minute because I found out that the bonds were 6 years or 8 years. I remember my friend got the scholarship for another scholarship from another company, and she needs to work for that company for 13 years. I'm so sorry, but anything like for me, when I think about it, and I was talking to a few adults, it's really hard for you to progress in your career after working 6 years in that company, right? I just felt that it would really stunt my career and stunt my personal and career growth as well. And so I didn't want to be bound to a company for that long. So universities usually don't have bonds. So they just give you the money or give you free whatever accommodation or tuition fees, and then you're happy to go along with your life. You don't owe the university anything. But the issue with university-based scholarships is that they're really hard to get because the university has a limited budget, and so there's only so many scholarships that they can give for thousands of students. So they're really hard to get. Usually they're merit based, so you have to have really good results, or you are compromised in some way, or you're part of a certain demographic. So maybe you're from a low socioeconomic country, or you're from you're indigenous, then you have a higher chance of getting scholarships. And so the other type of scholarship is company-based scholarships. So company-based scholarships are extremely good in the fact that they usually sponsor everything. So they sponsor your accommodation, your flights, your tuition fees, your everything. They also give you additional support. The issue is, like I said, you have really long bonds. So if you're really strapped for cash and it's your dream to study overseas, go for company-based scholarships. Just know that you're bound to this company for really long, but you can also think of the fact that you are guaranteed a job after you graduate. That's a really good point as well. Like basically, once you graduate, you are guaranteed a job for 6 years. So that's a really good point. All right. Do you guys mind me being so detailed, or do you want me to be less detailed so that I can go through more questions? Let me know in the chat. Yeah. So how do you become a student that, oh my God, the wind is so strong. But how do you become a student that actually gets scholarships? So one, excellent grades. That's no compromise. You have to have really good grades. Second, you need to have commitments outside of your grades. So you need to be able to show that you can't only okay, everyone said it's perfect. You love all the details. All right, that's good. I'll continue yapping. So you need to be able to show the panel of judges, right? That so sorry. Oh my God. But you need to be able to show the panel of judges that you are able to commit to things outside your academics, because they want someone that's able to represent their university or represent their company, and they want stellar all-rounded students. So what I recommend you do outside of studying is volunteering jobs. So, or volunteering opportunities. I think that's more accurate to say. So volunteer in a hospital, a children's hospital, volunteer in a soup kitchen. Try to volunteer as much as possible because it shows time management, shows that you're empathetic, shows that you're able to work in a team, and so much more. And that's not only that, right? You can also do things like founding a club. That's pretty hard. Maybe you're super passionate about photography, and maybe your school doesn't have a photography club or photography competition, and you start one. That's an amazing okay, someone said drink water. Okay, I'll drink water. Okay, I drink water. All right. Okay, I drink the water. I drank water. All right. So yeah. So do things outside your academics that shows that you have like leadership. Okay. The qualities that they really want is critical thinking, leadership, time management, being able to work in a team, communication skills, and all of that. So discipline as well. So make sure you do that. Someone asked, okay, let me pin this real quick. Don't want to be rude, but did you also get involved in any other activities? Can you name them, please? All right. So these are the things that I did. Okay, so I was the head of the cheerleading team. Why did I stutter? I was the captain of the cheerleading team. I did cheerleading for 5 years. I was the grandmaster. I don't know why I can't think of the word, but I was the grandmaster of my school's orchestra. So I was the first violin. I did 12 years of theater. I'm just passionate about performing arts. So I did theater for 12 years. um, I was the deputy head prefect. I was What else did I do? Oh, I attended art competitions. So I actually painted a mural and it got sent to New York, and I won the global competition for murals. And my mural was about a racial reconciliation. So I painted a mural about different races and how I want the world to be in peace. And yeah, I just say no to racism, and that won the New York global competition. So currently it's somewhere in New York. I don't know where it is. But yeah, I want that as well. I played a violin, so I finished my grade 8 ABRSM. So I finished that when I was like 16 or 17. And so I think that's it. I was captain of the dance team as well. Uh, so I did a lot of things back in secondary school. I'm not saying they have to do all these things. All right. I was just passionate about many things. I can't sit still. So I did a lot of things, but you just need to focus on one. That's it. All right. Let me just drink water. Okay. What did I not do, Faye? Apparently rest. So, all right. The next question from the lifestyle. Can I hide? Okay. The next question from the lifestyle is how to take control of your life back from a prolonged rut in every aspect. Start small. I think the biggest mood killer or motivation killer for anyone is when you start to compare yourself to the previous version of you, right? We always talk about like how you shouldn't compare yourself to others. Don't compare yourself to others because it'll make you really like it'll bring you down. Like comparison is the thief of joy. That's a really nice quote. Can someone put that in the chat so someone can write it down and post it on their wall? Comparison is the thief of joy. But what I want to emphasize that no one talks about is that you also shouldn't compare yourself to yourself. Like right now, we're all in a rut, right? And we're down on motivation. We shouldn't sit there and think about how last time you were able to get up at 4 a.m. every day. Last time you were able to, study for 10 hours a day. And how come I can't do it that now, Like comparing yourself, I feel is even worse because then you feel like, oh my God, why can't I do it now? And you're just stuck in this endless cycle of like, why am I like this? Why can't I be like that? Why am I like this? And then why can't I be like that? And you're just ruminating in these negative thoughts. So stop comparing yourself to yourself. Oh my God, is that going to be a new quote for videos? But yeah, stop comparing yourself is the first step. Okay, get out of that mindset. Second one is to start small. Okay, if you can't even study for an hour right now, that's fine. Start with 20 minutes. What you need to compare yourself, what you need to focus on right now is making sure that you see improvement. So let's just say you study 20 minutes today. Make sure that you study 21 minutes tomorrow if you're capable of doing that, right? If you're okay. So instead of thinking about the fact that, oh my God, now I can only study for 20 minutes, think about the fact that, you're making small improvements every single day. That is way more important than like trying to compare yourself to the previous version of you, and take this time to rest. So that is the advice that I have for, getting your life back from a prolonged rut. All right. Can everyone comment a blue heart emoji if you're enjoying this live stream or coaching session so far? Let me know what you're thinking. Let me just drink a little bit of water. Yes, comparison is the thief of joy. Let me pin that. Oh my God. You guys are commenting like so fast. All right, let me pin that right now. Feel free to write that in a memo pad and stick it on your wall. I have so many quotes on my wall. Should I take one for you to see? Oh my god, I hope I don't flash anything. Here you go. Like I have this one like written here. You will never lose if you don't give up. My boyfriend wrote that and stuck it on the wall. So yeah, I have just so many things stuck on the wall. You can see in my vlogs. Yeah. Okay, next question. How to overcome panic attacks about examinations? Oh, there's so many blue hearts. That's really, really cute. So how do you overcome panic attacks about examinations? So so what a lot of you besties don't know is that I have an exam blog. Feel free to check that out. Maybe someone can post the link here. But I have an exam blog, right? And what you don't know is that there's a previous exam before that day that I actually didn't go for because I had a panic attack or anxiety attack, to be more specific, in the exam hall, right? So I think it was for chemistry. And so I sat down and I just completely blanked out. Like, that has never happened before. Why am I looking at the wrong camera? I'm looking at the laptop camera. Sorry, I'm supposed to look at this camera, right? I'm talking to you, besties, not that black dot. So I actually blanked out, and that was the first time that has ever happened to me. So I sat down and I opened the paper, and for some reason, I don't even know what I'm looking at. Like I forgot what those units mean. I just blanked out. It was so scary, and I just started crying in the exam hall, like tears just streaming down my face. And I was like, I can't believe I don't know what I'm looking at. And I was like, I'm going to get canceled on YouTube. I'm going to fail. Like, this is over. And I was just ruminating so bad that I started crying. And the examiner walked past me and she was like, are you okay, dear? And I was like, mm-mm. And so she brought me over to the nurse's room. And by the way, this exam hall, you can see in the exam blog, this exam hall is huge. All right. So they did me really dirty. Excuse me, why are you bringing me while I'm crying? One end of the hall to the other. It was such a long walk. I think it was like 100 meters or something. Like, and so I passed by all the other students. And yeah, the nurse wrote me a letter and I went home and I went to the doctors and they wrote me a letter saying that I had an anxiety attack and I had a replacement exam. So I'm telling you this because I want you to know that even as someone who is, I guess all of you know me as someone who's very academically like inclined, like I'm good at my academics. Like I want you to know that these moments still happen to me and I'm very familiar with anxiety. And so how I overcome that, right, is to truly understand, and it sounds so cheesy, but to truly understand that you've done all you can. Okay. I think especially for me, I tend to get more and more anxious and experience exam anxiety when I feel like I should have done more. Can you comment in the chat? Like type in the chat, like when you start feeling exam anxiety or like what's the reason for it. I think that would really help people. And I also want to know. But yeah, like for me, I get really bad anxiety when I keep telling myself, oh, I should have studied that. Oh, I should have done that. Oh, I should have revised that. Why didn't I go through this? And like, you have to stop and understand that for like all the revision days leading up to this point, you have done the best that you can do. And you have to truly understand that. Go into the exam hall knowing that you did your best and that you can't do anything else and that you've tried your best. What my dad always says, right? Like what's most important is that you tried your best, because it's much better that you go through life trying your best in every single thing than going through life being proud of the fact that you didn't put in much effort in anything. I never understood that. Like when people are like, I hardly studied for it. Like, no, like you should be proud of the fact that you tried your best. Yeah. And someone asked if I'm going back to regular YouTube uploads. Yes, I am. You can hear me, I'm coughing. I'm currently recovering from bronchitis. And I managed to film a YouTube video, but it took really long to export today. So I'm going to try again tomorrow and I'll upload it at 10:30 Melbourne time on Thursday. So stay tuned for that. It's in 2 days. I want you to set your alarm right now. So yeah, I hope that helps, like regarding exam anxiety. I hope my advice helps. And so yeah, let's move on to the next question. Can everyone put a pink heart for anyone that's experiencing exam anxiety? I know sometimes you can feel really alone in these things, so I think it'll make me feel better as well. So type a pink heart for everyone. Yes, Hiba says, I used to love exams, but because I thought of it as ways to improve myself, I became really anxious at the start of my high school and it stuck with me and in turn made exams so terrifying to me. Yeah, I think that brought me back to my point of like, I think um the question number 6 by the lifestyle when I said that you shouldn't compare yourself to your past self, like but I think in this case, you should draw inspiration. Remember, I said that you need to have someone to inspire you to have a goal, right? Be inspired by your younger self as well. Instead of, comparing yourself and being like upset about the fact that you're no longer that person, draw inspiration from them. I always say this. No, I don't always say this, but I said it once before and you guys loved it. But there are only two people that you need to impress in your life, right? Your future self and your past self. You want to be able in the future, you want to be able to be like, yeah, I'm so proud of my younger self for doing that. And right now, you want to be able to, like, if you meet your younger self, like, you want your younger self to be like, wow, I want to be that girl one day. Does that make sense? Yeah. So Hiba, draw inspiration from your past self, draw strength from who you were in the past, and still think of it as, a way to really test your perseverance and discipline. Think of exams as like a finishing point that, and a confirmation that you really did try your best. And I think that's a really good mindset to have. All right, next question. By Yashodhara Japakse. I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrongly. But dear Faye, I'm actually older than you, starting over my life in early 30s. Back in school, I was very intelligent, but never touched a book after getting home. Paid a high price for that mistake, working dead end jobs for the last 10 years. Missed out on so many opportunities. I'm thinking to go back to school again and invest in the next 20 years of my life. However, since I'm not used to studying for long periods of time, I feel so nervous. Any advice? Love from Sri Lanka. That's actually such a beautiful comment. I just want to say, if you're watching this, Yashodhara Jabakse, I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, but if you're watching this, I want you to know that I'm so proud of you for taking this step in your life. It is not easy, really. Like, besties, if you're watching this and you're young, it's really not easy to start over and have the courage to change the path in your life. Can everyone comment down below like an encouraging word for this bestie? Like telling her how, or telling him how proud you are of them. I think we should all like be inspired by this, being courageous enough to pursue a different path. But yeah, any advice I have for being able to study long periods of time. So if you want like a little quirky tip that I love doing, so if you love reading or if you love watching movies or series, this is perfect for you, right? So see, everyone is so cute in the chat. I hope you're reading this, but so what I suggest is that use your hobbies or distractions as motivations. So let's just say you have this series that you're really addicted to, right? So maybe you can tell yourself, one episode is 20 minutes or one episode is 50 minutes. So I have to study for 50 minutes before I can watch a 50-minute long episode. So this is what I did when I was younger, and I should do that as of now. Instead of binging like 10 hours of Twilight, I should have done this. But like, reward yourself with the same amount of time that you spend being productive, whatever it is that you're doing. I think that's such a fun way to reward yourself. You're like, man, like Bridgerton is like 1 hour long per episode, which means if I want to binge the 8 episodes, that means I have to study for 8 hours first. And so that is a really good motivation. But if you're not like addicted to like books or series or anything, and this doesn't motivate you, what will really help you study for long periods of time is one, taking a lot of breaks. Okay, the thing is, with taking a lot of breaks, sometimes you can be distracted. That's why like your break should be a quantified amount of time. So your break should be that 20-minute long episode. So when the episode ends, you get back to studying. Because sometimes I find when people say, take a 5-minute break, we end up taking like an hour long break because that 5 minutes just doesn't feel like it's enough. So take a quantified amount of time for your breaks. But anyway, bringing back to my previous point, I don't know why I ran off on a tangent, but going back to my previous point, you should have a very specific goal when you start off your study session. So instead of writing down, I want to finish lecture 2, I want to finish studying biochemistry today. What does finish biochemistry mean? Like, do I study for 5 hours and that means I finished, or do I study for 30 minutes and that means I finished? Your goal for that study session should be so specific. So you should tell yourself, I want to finish lecture 2, revise lecture 3, and finish my math for lecture 4, right? So that you know to stop when you've finished these goals and not just stop whenever you feel like, I guess I finished it, Like, if you have any advice for studying for long periods of time, feel free to type them in the chat. Oh wait, I skipped the questions. Okay, wait, I'm so sorry about that. Let me go back to what question? Question 7. I skipped question 7. Okay, let me go through question 7. All right, but I hope I answered your previous question. But yeah, how can I study for long periods of time when I'm burnt out? Well, I guess I just answered that. But yeah, let me specifically tackle the last part of that question, when I'm burned out. So I actually have a whole YouTube video that I'll make sure my team like writes it down and in the notes that it's in Faith Films Academy. But remember, I want you to like be immersed in this live stream. Like, don't take any notes. The notes will be taken and it's being written by the Faith Films Academy team, and they'll post it in the community. So feel free to join us there. It's completely free. So yeah, it's just easier to have everything in one place. But I have a whole YouTube video on overcoming burnout. That I remember I filmed this in Singapore. That's a fun fact. But yeah, feel free to check that video out. I think it's like how to prevent burnout or something like that. So in that video, I talked about a technique where you draw a table and you divide your tasks according to whether it's important or not important, and whether it's urgent or not urgent. Because sometimes when you're burnt out and things are piling up, you might feel like everything is important, but actually it's not. It's just urgent. You feel like it's urgent. Like, oh my God, I have to call my mom. I have to take out the trash. I have to finish lecture 1 to 10. I have to do my homework. I have to do this and that and that. And it can feel like everything's important, but actually it's not. So I highly recommend checking out that video, because there's a free template that you can download and use as well. And you can use that template to really prioritize your goals and understand what is it that you need to prioritize your time on. So yeah, it's 11:18 and maybe sorry, I'm like coughing. That's really like gross. But maybe comment down below some questions that you have that you want me to answer, and I'll go through them really quickly. I actually have one more page of questions, but I think I want to dedicate this chunk of time towards answering any questions that you have for me right now. I'm just reading the comments right now. Is it possible to over prepare for the exam? Let me pin that really quickly. Someone said, no, that's not gross. You can cough. Thank you so much. I'm just happy that there's like a screen in between us. Oh my God. Let me try to find. Okay, so Bartos asked, is it possible to over prepare for an exam? No, but it's possible to overthink. So when you become more and more prepared for an exam, sometimes I fall into the trap of thinking that like I end up trying to study everything because I'm like, oh, I have time anyway. Let me like memorize that and that and that and that. So you can fall into the trap of thinking that everything is important. Just make sure that you understand what is it. Remember to watch my video this coming Thursday. I'm gonna talk all about this. Like, I'm gonna give you a secret technique on how you know exactly what's gonna come out in your exams and how to prioritize to study what and what your ideal study session should look like. I can't go into too much detail in this live stream or it'll take forever, but basically you should always focus your time into the most important concepts and not dedicating too much effort towards studying everything. So no, it's not possible to over prepare for an exam. I think that's a really good problem to have, but it's possible to overthink. And the more time you spend, like the more time you spend preparing for your exams, you might fall into the trap of thinking that everything is important. So make sure you know how to prioritize. And if you don't know how, then stay tuned for this Thursday's video. Make sure you set an alarm. Yeah, let's go. Oh, there's so many questions. Okay, let me try to pick like one more. Okay, so many questions. Tips for middle school. Wait. So sorry. How to study? Okay, I think this is really, really interesting. I've never come across, I've never answered this question before in my YouTube videos, but how do you study? Ritisha asked, how do you study when you have friend issues? So, okay, if you know me from high school, you know that I'm very different from who I am now. So back in high school, I was very, very serious and quiet. Like I said, I was an athlete. I said this in the beginning of the live stream, but I was a student athlete, and I was so used to being surrounded by coaches and other gymnasts and parents. And when I injured my back, I was just suddenly thrown into the world alone, or that's what it felt like. And so I really secluded myself. I turned from an extrovert to an extreme introvert. I just like kept to myself all the time. And so for me, when you have friend issues, right, you have to understand whether they're really worth your time. And the reason why I told you that story before telling you this is because I faced a lot of backlash from my friends because they didn't understand why I was becoming so quiet. And they thought that, because my grades were improving, I was becoming very arrogant. But that wasn't the case at all. It was just I was just quiet because I felt like, I was going through a turbulent, uncertain moment in my life, and I just wanted some peace and quiet and time to digest it and digest that change. Because at that time I was on my way to being in the sorry I was on my way to going, like, I was on track to making it to like the national competition. And I injured my back right before that, and that was a huge goal of mine, to be able to compete nationwide, like on a national level. And so I didn't get to do that, and I had to like kind of digest and come to terms with it. And so I just became very quiet. Like I said, I used to be very, very extroverted. Can you imagine that? But like, I used to be so extroverted, and so I became very quiet, and I spent more time studying. So in turn, my grades were improving. And the combination of me becoming quiet and my grades improving meant other people thought I was becoming arrogant when it wasn't. So I was struggling with my friends at the time, you know. And so what I did was that you have to really sit down and understand that sometimes, like in life, friends come and go, really. Like, people come and go in your life, and you have to appreciate the time that they're there. And you have to understand that when they are currently your friend and you have happy memories with them, they have a certain purpose. They are in your life for a certain reason. Maybe at that time when I was extroverted, my friends were there to uplift me, for us to, bounce off our energy, for us to, have make so many fun memories. But after I changed my goals in life and I wanted to focus more time into, prioritizing my academics rather than just having fun, like, it's time to make new friends, or time to find people that actually align with your goals. That's why I said at the beginning of this live stream, like, when you change your priorities or when you're trying to succeed, it's going to be quite lonely. Hopefully it's not the case for you, but it is a lot of the time. Like, can you besties like comment in the live stream, comment in the chat if you feel that way or if you've experienced that. But yeah, when you change your priorities, you're going to experience a loss of friends, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that they're bad. It just means that you guys have different, like different ideas of what you want your futures to look like. So if those friends are not worth your time, cut them off, let them go. I'm not saying be hostile. There's no reason to be hostile to anyone, but just let them go. Understand that, your time with them have passed and you appreciate that time and you've grown together, but it's time to diverge. And yeah, you have to understand that you only have so much energy, and if you dedicate so much time towards thinking about other people, you have no time to think about yourself. And sometimes being selfish in this sense is really, really important, because you have to prioritize yourself. You don't want to drag yourself in, on the road trying to chase after people that don't have the same vision as you. So my answer to I hope that answers your question, even though it's a little bit like long-winded. I hope that gives context. But to know how to study when your friend issues to one, find people that equally inspire and motivate you, and two, understand that your time with them have passed, not in a bad way, but in an exciting way where new things and new exciting things are coming for you. And so, yeah, someone asked a question about the $9 student success formula. I'm seeing if I can pin that. Okay, wait, I don't think I can find that because there's so many questions. But someone asked what the $9 student success formula is. Basically, you can see it in the description box below. There's a link to join. It's my academic program where there's a new class every single week followed by a live stream where we discuss what we've learned in that class. So it's a 10-week program where I work with you towards achieving all your academic goals. So the first episode that's coming out this week is all about mastering goal setting. The second episode is all about, note-taking methods, time management, how to study last minute for exams, the tools that you need to succeed in your exams and stuff like that. Like it costs $9, and the reason why is because you know how I have Faith Films Academy? You can see the link right here. So that's completely free, but in full transparency, it costs me 4 figures a month in USD to run it, just as admin cost, costs for my team to make sure that you're all taken care of and making sure that Faith Films Academy is amazing. So it costs a lot of money to actually run a community, even though it's free for you besties. I have no regrets, by the way. I'm so happy that all of you enjoy it. But yeah. So the $9 is just so that I can cover all the admin costs. And I'm also coming out with a free academic workbook inside the $9 student success formula. I'll talk more about it in the future. But yeah, I'm so excited to see all of you inside. And if you want your timetable to be customized by me, then feel free to join that community because I'm picking all your timetables from there. And there's a form there that you can fill in to get your timetables customized by me. And yeah, it's 11:27. It's been 1.5 hours. I hope you enjoyed this live coaching session. I'm really tired, but I had an amazing time. Can all of you comment a rainbow emoji or a heart emoji if you've stayed for this long? I also think that my voice is kind of going. But yeah, thank you so much, besties, for joining this session. I really had an amazing time with you. Actually, can all of you comment heart emojis and I will film it and post it on my Instagram? Okay, quickly. Quickly. Let me record this really quickly. I can try to put it on YouTube as well. Let me see. Oh, wait. The hearts aren't coming in yet. Hold on. I'm waiting, guys. All right. Okay, let me film that again. That's so cute. Yeah, but thank you so much for joining me on this session. Let me film a horizontal one, right? Because we're on YouTube. Maybe I'll put this in a vlog or something. Yeah. Yeah, but I'm so sorry that was awkward, but thank you so much for joining my little live stream. The recording will be available, and the notes for this live stream will be available at Faith Films Academy. So feel free to join us there. It's completely free. And yeah, I'll see you on Thursday for my video on how to become an academic weapon, and a free template will be in that video as well. So I'll see you all, and yeah, bye besties.